Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Off the Tracks here at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum, and we won't be here for too long. A couple weeks from now, we'll be at the Firehouse in Normal, Illinois. Definitely check us out starting at 6 o'clock there, but until then, we've got a couple great shows coming up for you. Today we got a great one. Pat Curry, Blake Gober, and Hayden Lavigne, the goaltender for your Bloomington Thunder, will all be here on the show tonight. And we got to start with the guy to my left here, Pat Curry. I appreciate the time here, Pat.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So obviously a good game here over the last weekend. Team puts up a season high of 7 goals, and a great game for you personally. You put up 2 of them in the game, including the game winner. How was it for the team just to get back on track after the tough game on Friday night?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big win. It's important to get that one at the end of the weekend there so we can go into this upcoming weekend against Tri-City with some momentum. So, yeah, it was big for our team.
Now, you bring up Tri-City, and we'll talk about it a little bit. You and the other guy who's coming on later, Hayden Lavigne, both guys that played for Tri-City last season. So just for you guys, knowing that you're going to play your former team, what's it like getting ready for this weekend?
I mean, it's obviously going to be a little bit more fun. Still got a lot of buddies on that team, and they were really Tri-City was really helpful to me in my career, and I'm just looking forward to playing them.
So obviously second year in the USHL, first year full-time in the USHL, as last year was a half a season coming up from Springfield. So let's talk about you just beforehand, before you even hit the USHL scene, and just where everything started. A guy from Schaumburg, Illinois, and just being from outside of Chicago, what was it like being in Blackhawks territory as you're growing up there?
Well, they were pretty bad earlier when I was pretty young, around the 2000s. And I was playing with the Chicago Americans in Team Illinois there. Around like 07, 08, they started picking up some good players in the draft and finally became one of the best teams in the NHL. So it was nice to have a good team, be able to go down there and watch good hockey and learn some stuff. And then from there, I went to play my juniors in Springfield, and that was really helpful. Helped me learn how to play against bigger guys. I was a younger guy in that league, and it definitely gave me the opportunity to play in the USHL.
And just for you, growing up and watching some of the Chicago Blackhawks, obviously one of the big stories about early Chicago Blackhawks in the 2000s was tickets were pretty cheap. So how much did you get? Were you able to go out and watch the Blackhawks when you were growing up?
Oh, me and my dad would go out there, probably spend $15-20 a ticket for an upper deck ticket, and then we'd sneak down to the lower bowl. We'd be able to go about 5 rows up. Yeah. So yeah, but it's changed a lot now. I mean, they're going for like 80 for upper bowl now, but I mean, it's good to see them winning though. So.
Not exactly the same as going out and watching them at that point. Yeah. But as far as influence too, just for you growing up, and how big of a part did the Chicago Blackhawks and just overall hockey in Chicago and the vibe there? How big was it for you deciding to start to get more into hockey and deciding to pursue junior careers and things like that?
Well, my dad didn't play hockey. He played like men's league. He just kind of loved the game, and he put my brother into it early. My brother really loved it, and I'm always hanging around my brother, so I guess it kind of rubbed off on me. And I started young also, and he's helped me a lot all the ways up, making me tougher, and working with me in the garage and stuff. So yeah, my brother is just probably the biggest influence in my dad.
So tell me about Springfield last year, North American League, and then being in the USHL last year. How big was it coming into your first full season in the USHL to kind of get you ready and have a little bit of a taste of that USHL action?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, obviously from the North American League to the USHL, it's a big jump in speed and skill. It was really nice to get my 32 games in Tri-City, kind of get me warmed up to the league so I could come in this year and make a big impact. And kind of had a slow start to the year, but I feel like I'm picking it up as of late. And that 2-goal game kind of helped me out a little bit, get my confidence going.
Well, it should be an interesting weekend for the Bloomington Thunder and for you here against the Tri-City Storm starting on Saturday night, 7 o'clock start for the Bloomington Thunder. It's the Guns and Hoses game. Definitely come out. Bloomington will be wearing some nice specialty jerseys this weekend to support the firefighters and police officers of Bloomington Normal, and also a post-game auction at that game, which will benefit the Special Olympics of Illinois. Definitely come on out and check out that hockey game. And obviously for you coming into this season, it was an acquisition that brought you to Bloomington, obviously with an expansion program. That's kind of how everything happens with this league. For you coming into Bloomington, knowing that you were one of the guys that they wanted to be here and bring in to start up this program, how did it help the confidence going into this year?
Well, when Coach Williams picked me up, he told me I was going to have a pretty big role this year. So, I mean, that helps your confidence. He said I was going to try to be a go-to guy, on power play and some special team stuff. So, I mean, it helped me a lot. I mean, back in Tri-City, I probably wouldn't have had as big of a role as I have here now because they have a lot of returning guys. So, yeah, definitely helped a lot.
So just in this first half of the season, you said that you were trying to get the confidence up, and obviously the weekend was a big help to that. Mm-hmm. Foreseeing the future of this second half of the season and how the coaching staff has helped here over the last couple months of getting you prepared for this second half of the year, what's the expectations for Pat Curry here?
Obviously put the puck in the net more. Kind of just tighten things up in my defensive zone. He was telling me once I get the defensive zone all settled up, the offensive chances will come. So he's told me to have my main focus on the D zone because, I mean, in the end, defense first. But he said if I just straighten things up there, I'll be able to do my thing in the offensive zone. So.
Finishing up here with Pat Curry on Off the Tracks, the weekly coaches show, and the coaches are actually out in Dubuque for the conferences here, so we'll get them in next week before the Bloomington Thunder head to the Off the Tracks show coming the week after that, and we'll be at the Firehouse Pub at 6 o'clock start for the Bloomington Thunder's coaches show, and we will be there for the rest of the season. As we finish up here, Pat, just kind of the biggest part of the USHL is to try and get the college commitment out of the league and try and move yourself up to college hockey. How's it been going for you so far? And seeking that. And really, where exactly are the pieces to the puzzle? What's the biggest thing that you're looking for a college to bring yourself to that next level?
When coming here, I mean, Coach Williams told me. I knew Coach Williams had moved a lot of guys on from Amarillo in the North American League. He's one of the best coaches in the league at doing so. Since I've been here, I've talked to a really good amount of schools. Probably the most important thing to me would be the academics and then the conference in which the team plays, because, I mean, you're not always going to be able to play hockey your whole life, so the academics are a huge side of it. And then you kind of want to be in the best conference possible so you can draws the most scouts and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Well, Pat, best of luck here in the second half of the season. I know it's a grind here with a lot of road games coming up in the later half of January and even in March. But best of luck. It's been an honor to watch you guys.
Thank you.
That's Pat Curry. We'll be right back here with Hayden Lavigne coming up on the mic. It's the Bloomington Thunder's Off the Track show live here from the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. Don't go anywhere. Hey everybody, welcome to another segment of Off the Tracks here. Pat Curry was the first guy, and then to my left now, it's our second member of your Bloomington Thunder, the goaltender, Hayden Lavigne, with his first start this past weekend for your Bloomington Thunder, coming in against the Sioux City Musketeers on the Friday night, and then the first start on Saturday. Probably was a whirlwind for you coming here from Waterloo, and obviously good to get that first start underway here, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit busy traveling and everything, moving houses and teams, but the team opened me really nicely. Everyone was very welcoming, and a little nerve-wracking going into that first game, but it settled down. It was really nice to get the team win Saturday night.
So just getting into a hockey game for a backup goaltender coming into a game, to try and get your mindset right, thinking, okay, now I've got to come in, and it's a whole different mindset of, all right, you're going from supporting the guys and working with the charts and everything, coming into the game. How do you get yourself prepared to come into a hockey game?
You don't really. You're just sitting on the bench and you're paying attention to games, trying to stay mentally focused from when warm-up ends to that opportunity that you do get to go in. And as soon as I go in, I pretty much just think, let's keep the score where it is and try and catch up. I just think really simple in the net, a couple things. Technique-wise, I just keep saying to myself over and over again, just try not to overthink it when you go in. I just keep things simple and try and get the score tied up.
So then, let's talk about kind of your career and where you've come from and how the whole situation has evolved to being here in Bloomington now in the month of January. So first off, guy from Canada, just where was the thought process as you're growing up to think, all right, well maybe I'm gonna go to the USHL and start to play junior hockey?
Well, originally, like every kid growing up in Canada, my dream was to play major junior hockey. After the OHL draft, I played a year in the OJHL, and that's when I started talking to a couple of schools and started realizing college might be a really good opportunity, get good education paid for, and get to play hockey for a couple extra years. And that's when I made the decision to commit to the University of Michigan. And after that, I was talking to Tri-City, where I spent my first year in the USHL and made the jump down here. And ever since then, it's been kind of all over the place, but I'm glad to be settled in Bloomington.
So what's it like to grow up in Canada? Because obviously hockey big in the United States, but it's not to the same extent that it is in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure growing up. Even like pee-wee hockey, you get parents yelling and everything. I'm pretty sure that's the same place everywhere. But my family actually wasn't really big into hockey until I started playing. Both my parents were athletes, but neither of them played hockey. So they just kind of let me do my own thing, and it was just all about having fun. There's no pressure or anything. I was just playing like the sport that we're known for.
So then you mentioned also Tri-City, who's coming in this weekend. Obviously, 7 o'clock start on Saturday night and 3 o'clock start on Sunday. Definitely want to catch both of those games. Give the Bloomington Thunder a call to get your tickets, 309-434-2980. And coming into this season, you were with the Waterloo Blackhawks, but last year played a decent amount in your first USHL season with the Tri-City Storm. What was the experience like being in Tri-City and getting that first USHL experience?
It was good. I spent a lot of time on the bench behind a very strong 20-year-old goaltender. I got an opportunity to learn a lot from him mentally and technique-wise, as well as get to go into games slowly and surely, and at the end of the season I picked it up and kind of felt really comfortable in the games. It was a good opportunity to just develop as a player, both on and off the ice. Got a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and a little bit more comfortable in the net at the high-speed game.
As far as the USHL is comparative to the OJ, what is the main differences there as far as making the jump from going to the OJ to the USHL?
The biggest thing is the speed. Just the guys here are a lot faster. Shots are faster. Shots come off the stick faster. The other thing is it's a big different style of hockey. In the OJHL and the OHL, mostly like Ontario hockey, it's really controlled. It's all about in-zone play. Here, it's really big on the rush. So you see a lot of back-and-forth games, which was probably one of the biggest things that I had to adjust to. I was used to playing in the zone where teams are setting up along the wall, and now all of a sudden it's working on 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s. So that was the biggest thing.
And that's not that it's too much pressure, because obviously a goaltender goes through pressure during a game, but those 2-on-1s really come on you quick and having to make decisions. How tough is it to make that adjustment there?
At first it was a little tough, but the defense here are also a lot better, which make it easier on us. They're really good at either taking away the shot or the pass, and it's pretty obvious what the play is going to be. When 2-on-1s come down, the D-man takes the shot or the pass, so I'm left with either to stop either just the shot or just worry about the pass. So I got to give a lot of credit to the D-men who make it a lot easier too.
So let's kind of talk about your year this year. You start with the Waterloo Blackhawks in the USHL, and Waterloo earlier in the year it was a bit of a struggle to get up in the standings there in Waterloo, and then you come into the Bloomington Thunder organization in about the middle of December, just looking for that first opportunity to get into hockey games. What's the whirlwind been like here in 2014-15?
It's been busy. Waterloo, like you said, it was tough. We were in a big losing streak like you guys went through here. Then after I made the transition here, a lot of travel, a lot of getting used to the new team, the new billets, new coaching staff, all that sort of thing. I was just kind of working hard in practices, trying to get ready to go into a game. Finally getting in this past weekend was really nice, and winning was even better. Kind of lifts a lot off my shoulders.
As far as just kind of getting into the whole process of becoming a starting goaltender in a game, for you, it was your first start since probably the end of November, I believe. So how do you get yourself prepared and think, all right, well, now it's my nod here tonight?
I just try and stay really relaxed. I try not to focus too much in the locker room. I'm not one of those guys to put headphones on and not talk to anyone. I try and stay loose, like joke around with some of the guys that are like me and aren't too serious before games. And then after warm-ups is when I kind of focus in on, okay, we got to win, got to do my job for the boys. And then that's really it. Like, it doesn't change, and it can't change because then you rely on stuff. So I just try and keep it really loose and really calm. And then that transitions into my play in the net. I want to be relaxed as well. So I think
We're talking with the goaltender for your Bloomington Thunder, Hayden Lavigne. We're here on Off the Tracks. Come on out this weekend. We got a couple games Saturday and Sunday against the Tri-City Storm. Guns and Hoses night on Saturday night starting at 7 o'clock p.m. at 3 p.m. On Sunday, we've got a great one for you. It's the Event Central Kids Day. So bring down the family. It'll be really, really fun, and kids can eat free until the end of the first intermission as well. So Hayden, let's kind of talk about, you got a chance last week to really get in touch with the goaltending consultant, Corey Waldcheck. What's it been like working with him over last week and also over the month working with the coaching staff here in Bloomington?
It's been huge. Mm-hmm. I think I struggled a little bit in Waterloo, and that's why I made the transition here, and he's been a huge help. Changed a couple small things, not a lot in my game, but just things that make a big difference, low position-wise, where I'm going to place my hands, and it's just been night and day between before I got here and once I've been here. So it's been a lot of help.
And just overall, just building off of the coaching staff, what is the differences between coaches, and what have you liked here about being in Bloomington and seeing what Coach Williams, Coach Mahood, and Coach Jewell have to offer here?
I mean, they communicate really well with the players. They're the first ones to tell you when something's wrong, what they like, what they don't like. They're right on top of video almost every day of the week. That's probably the biggest thing, and the most help that I've seen is the guys. They're really communicative.
And the biggest thing, again, we talked about it with Pat Curry, we'll mention it here too, is getting the college commitment. And you've got that already here with the University of Michigan, University of Michigan, my apologies. And for you, making that decision and knowing where you're going, does it take a load off of a guy's shoulders, knowing where they're going to be in the next couple of years?
Yes and no. I mean, you have that commitment and you know where you're going to plan on going, but it can still disappear at any time. So you're still working to get into the school. It's really still the same. You can't take your foot off the gas any less just because you have that commitment. It still means you got to work hard, and the next level is going to be even harder. So it really doesn't change much. At least it shouldn't.
What was the exact point where you realized, all right, Michigan's the place I want to go, and this is the school that I want to represent?
Yeah, it was definitely when I was walking around on campus. My dad's a big football fan. He's been a fan of Michigan for a long time. So when I finally got to go down and visit and was just walking around the campus, all the history that's there is unbelievable. And that was when I was like, I want to be part of that tradition.
Well, Hayden, best of luck here. We got a little bit of time left here in this season as we move forward with 30 games left to go here in the USHL year. And it's going to be a tough one here against your former team this weekend. So best of luck here.
Thank you.
That's Hayden Lavigne, your goaltender for your Bloomington Thunder. We'll be right back with Blake Gober coming up on the mic here on Off the Tracks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, third and final segment here of Off the Tracks here with one of the forwards for your Bloomington Thunder, Blake Gober. Big weekend here for you, Gobes. We'll touch on this guy in just a second, but we do have a good weekend coming up for you here at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. Bloomington Thunder taking on the Tri-City Storm in a 2-game set, Saturday and Sunday, 7 o'clock and 3 o'clock at the U.S. Cellular Coliseum. Definitely check those games out. Guns and Hoses on Saturday night, and then on Sunday, we have the Event Central Family Day. Stick around during the game, bring the kids out, and anyone 12 and under get free concessions until the end of the first period. But hey, enough promoting the games. We got this guy to our left. It's Blake Gober, a 2-assist night here for you on Saturday against the Sioux City Musketeers. And really, I've heard from Shane Bednard and yourself, it was a great dish to the back door to give Bedsy that marker, and it was a pleasure to watch that up in the press box.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, Bedsy made a good play go to the nets, and I was going to shoot. He called for it last second, so had to get it over that guy's stick to get there.
And as far as a forward's concerned, I think that's one of the things that you're watching also as I guess the best comparable reference is a quarterback in the NFL. You're watching a guy kind of cruise along, and you got to time that absolutely perfectly. How tough is that for a guy not only to watch the play, but then to put the puck right on his stick?
Yeah, it's pretty tough because you got the D2 also. Mm-hmm. So when he laid down and just put that stick, you just kind of – Bedsy made a good play too to get to it, so you just kind of got to rely on both of us to put it in the right spot for him to get there.
So for yourself, just a pretty solid season here coming into the first USHL year for yourself, and we'll talk about just kind of your career and what has brought you here. At the beginning, you start off as a guy from Texas, and just coming to the state of Illinois, how big of a change is it? Because it's a completely different weather system, a completely different lifestyle to be up here in Illinois.
Yeah, it's a lot different. It's a lot colder, but it's more hockey oriented up here. Down in Texas, it's all football or baseball or something like that, but you got the Blackhawks here who unfortunately beat the Stars a lot, but yeah, so it's a lot different, but it's great.
And as far as making the move and everything, when you're growing up and starting to play junior hockey, where does the USHL come into it for a guy like Texas? Because it really isn't that close when you think about it. The USHL is very Midwest oriented. So how did it pop into your mind?
Just going to showcases and you see all the scouts around. You always hear that the USHL is the best league, and best league, you see all the commitments that everyone gets. So when I was younger, I just wanted to play here since I was 13 or 14. When I first figured out about it, I always wanted to play here, so it's awesome to finally be here.
And how does it really come to the mind for most guys to find out what the USHL? Personally, growing up, had no idea what the USHL was. And for yourself, like you said, you hit the 13 age group and you start to realize, okay, the USHL is a possible route. How did you hear about it, and what was the way that you made your way to it?
Just probably going to showcases over when I was younger with AAA teams, and then I played up in the BCHL last year. I wasn't ready for the USHL, and then when you finally get here, it's just a huge relief because it's what you're always pushed for as a younger kid. It's where you want to be, so it was awesome.
So tell me about the process of becoming a member of your Bloomington Thunder for this season, and how much of a whirlwind was it? You get to camp and everything in Chicago, and you have to finally make the roster, and then going through training camp here. How tough was it to make this roster?
Yeah, it was very tough. There were a bunch of kids at camp. I think there were 8 teams, so making it out of that was a big deal for me just to be here at training camp. And then out of there, I think there was 45 kids or something like that, 20 forwards. So, it's tough to make the team. And once you finally do, it's the best feeling in the world when you see that final roster come out and your name's on it.
And being in that BCHL to kind of start everything, how well did it prepare you to get ready for this year?
I think it prepared me a lot because there's some good players here that get a bunch of college scholarships there too. So I think it's just like this. It's just, it's a little more offensive up there. Here I think it's more of a college structured game. So yeah, it helped out a ton last year.
We're talking with Blake Gober here for your Bloomington Thunder on Off the Tracks, our third and final segment. We'll be back here next week, but the following week we'll be at the Firehouse for your Bloomington Thunder, where we will do Off the Tracks for the rest of the season. Definitely come on out and check it out. The live showing at 6 o'clock at Firehouse every Monday night. You definitely want to check it out starting on the 26th. So Gobes here, we kind of have touched on the start of your career. Now in Bloomington and starting to process everything. We talked about the college commitment side of it with the other two guys. How big does that play into your role of trying to get into that next level? Because that is where everybody wants to end up.
Right, yeah. You think about it every day. Right before you go to sleep, when you wake up, that's all you want to do is finally get that college commitment. It's what you've been working for your whole life. Make your parents proud, everyone who's pushed you. So, just keep pushing. You got to work harder and harder every day. You see you're playing a team with a couple guys that are committed. You want to steal their spots, so you got to outwork them.
And I think the one thing that Coach Williams has touched on throughout this season is he doesn't look for guys to be ready to go to college hockey. He wants guys, like you said, to go to college hockey and then take guys' spots and be those top line guys. Have you gotten the feeling that you're starting to develop that here this season?
Yeah, it's a transfer over from last year. I had to get used to this style of play, but over Christmas break, you just kind of relax. You watch film, and you get more comfortable when you come back, and get more confidence while you're playing out there, and you get used to everything. So yeah, I feel like it's starting to set in for me.
For yourself and the rest of the team, it was a very, very solid start to the December, end of November. You go through that, then the long Christmas break, and it's been a bit of a struggle getting back to the systems and everything. But it seems like in that game this past weekend, everything clicked together. Is that a preview of what we're going to see this weekend? It really seems like the guys really meshed together and started to play to the systems again.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a huge game for us. Everyone was clicking, and then you look for what you're going to get back at practice after you have that day off. So, and everyone's still fired up about that win. Everyone's still pushing hard. So I think we're going to have a good stretch coming up here.
And for yourself and this team, as far as just going through the first half of the season and getting adjusted to all the systems and seeing how they've all worked, how big has it been for you to try and fit to the pieces of the puzzle and listening to the coaches and really figure out where exactly it is you fit on this team? Yeah,
the coaches definitely know what they're talking about. So when you do finally buy in, all the guys are on the same page. You can see what we do, like we did Saturday night, and you could also see what happens when we don't listen to them on Friday night. So getting that win and getting all the guys going, it's pretty awesome.
We're talking with Blake Gober here as we finish up Off the Tracks here. Just a couple more minutes to go here. Gobes, before we can get you on out here, I know you guys got workouts coming up in a little bit, but like we said, the college commitment is the part of it. So for yourself, trying to get that next college commitment and trying to find where you're going to be over the next couple years. Does it get nerve-wracking at times trying to think about it? Like you said, just going to bed at night, it's one of those things you think about. Does it affect your game too much?
I think if you think about it too much, it could. Like you're like, all right, I have to go out there and perform 100%, or I'm not going to get a college commitment. But mistakes happen out there. So if you think like that, yeah. But you got to stay relaxed, but keep it in the back of your mind that that's what you are working for.
What is, and I think for everybody, you like to know what exactly it is that you're looking for as a college student and trying to pick where you're going to basically spend 4 years of your life. So for yourself, what is that go-to factor that you're looking for?
A good education, somewhere I'm going to go and I can make an impact right away. You want to go where you're wanted, so I don't want to go in and be sitting the bench right away. I want to go in there and make an impact right away. So wherever I can do that, that's where I'd love to be.
As far as the being far away from home, does that come into play? Because there's not too many hockey teams for colleges down in Texas.
No, there's not. Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't affect me too much. I mean, I lived a year in Michigan. When I was younger, I lived in Canada last year, now up in Illinois. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. I always get to go back there in that nice summer heat.
How do mom and dad feel about the being away from home? Because it is a commitment for parents to let their kids go away from home a little bit earlier than usual.
Yeah, I think it was a little more difficult for them last year, but, they're used to it now. And, I mean, I'm getting older, so I think they know I can take care of myself now.
Well, at least you can possibly do the laundry, I hope.
Yeah.
That'll be a good prep for college.
Yeah, I can do laundry now.
Well, best of luck this weekend. It's always going to be a grind here this coming weekend and then for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I appreciate the time here, Gobes.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Blake Gober, and we're done here on Off the Track. Stick around next weekend. We've got this weekend we got a couple games coming up, 7 o'clock starts on Saturday night against the Tri-City Storm, and then a 3 o'clock start against the Storm on Sunday for Guns N' Hoses night on Saturday, and then Sunday it's the Event Central Family Day. And also, come back next week. We'll have another edition of Off the Tracks, and then the week after we'll be at the Firehouse Pub. But we'll pitch that next week as well. For Blake Gober, for Hayden Lavigne, and for Pat Curry, I'm Brian Tossi saying so long until next week. You've been watching Off the Tracks. Have a good one, everybody.